We're having in the middle of the month from the 18th onwards in Goa, as well as a particular project that we have started called Shiksha Sankalp, and which is making schools inclusive. And we also are celebrating 40 years of work and service in this country. I can't believe that 40 years have gone by, but so it has. So on the occasion of this celebration, we decided to launch the North-South Dialogue, as well as really to really showcase our newest project, which is Shiksha Sankalp. We thought it was a very good time to talk about all the work that the donors have also done for us. And here I have great pleasure in also welcoming HBCL, Mrs. Desai, Sonal Desai, please give her a hand. They have given us lot of funds for all our children, which is number equals at the moment 305, and we're taking a social audit of the children. For the conference itself, it's been wonderful with the backing of the State Bank. Thank you very much. And please, that sounds very good. And I think we've got Nitin Desai here, who has been a very good supporter of the Kulaba Center. And for every little thing, we go to Nitin Bhai. And he's in charge of the Rotary Club here. And thank you very much. I take this opportunity to thank you. And please join your hands. We have also, I'm not sure if the Lotus Trust people are here, but are they here? Oh, yeah. But I'd like to mention how much they've supported us right throughout in our work. I'd at the same time like to say that Coca-Cola has done a lot of work now for CSR and is one of the supporters of this particular conference. Is doing a lot of work as far as water harvesting, water conservation is concerned, and I feel it's a great privilege for me to be a part of the Coca-Cola CSR board, which is called Anandan. And I also welcome two very good friends who are here, who are our consultants, Mr. Dan Mont, who's besides being a friend, is one of the leading gurus from the World Bank, and is helping us with our mapping. And I know that you, Dan, know more details about it than I do. So I'm going to, at some point of time, ask you to really say a little bit more about the findings. And Nanette, who's there right behind his better half, or would you say better half, or whatever. But please join hands in welcoming both Dan and I welcome all the other members of the staff who worked very hard for the conference, as well as, of course, for ADAPT thing. I also welcome a very good friend and author who's sitting here quietly, Meher Pestanji, who has written a lot of books and is very well known as a journalist. So actually, I just want to begin by saying that the first thing is the celebration of the 40 years, and it just takes me back really to the time when I was knocking on every door and they said, oh, nothing can be done, etc. She's going to be a vegetable, and I really don't like to point fingers, but here is Malini herself, who's the author of, One Little Finger, and certainly proved everything all the doctors said wrong. And so she was, thank you. She was basically the raison d'etre for me to begin the society. And I must tell you that right from the beginning, we had tremendous support from every walk of life. I should also tell you that it was, the media did a lot for us. And I think they really liked the work. Right from the beginning, they would come and anything the kids did, etc., was always in the media, and they've been very good and close friends of ADAP. So through the 40 years, the major problem that I encountered was that it was a systems failure in the country. So there was no system at all to include children with disability. So every single policy of the government excluded children. So you have a very, very large, massive exclusion which is having to be addressed by us, and that's nearly 80 million. This is not a figure that we have come up with, but it is a figure that the World Bank has given India. And the World Bank didn't do it in isolation. The World Bank did a collaborative exercise with the Ministry of Social Justice and came up with this figure that only 10% of children and youth with disability has been covered in this country, and all the rest, actually they went to a figure of about 100 million, are just lying there literally on their backs or tied up, etc., with no services from the government. And certainly we have not been able to reach out as NGOs, because it's a well-known fact that NGOs have a very poor outreach, and therefore actually it was 2% when a few years ago, but now it's gone up to 10% that has been covered. So it's a huge, big challenge. Why it is also like that is because it's basically depoliticized. Because the politicians, they want actually people who can give them votes, vote catchers. We are depoliticized, and although we have a very large number of people, but we do not have a constituency, we do not have a voice in parliament, so we're just all over the country, scattered, as it were, quite powerless and voiceless. And the saddest part is that we are really, as the World Bank again has described, the poorest of the poor. So we are very much in the social sector, we are very much below poverty level. So this is what's become very difficult, and so we began the next project. After 40 years of service, we began a new project which I talked about, Shiksha Sankalp. And this particular project is going out there into the villages and also taking it, so there are jurisdictions. One is out there in the villages, and one is here in A ward. And what we are doing is we are mapping. And mapping is, really, because robust data is not available as to where the kids are, what are their needs. So it's a need-driven project to find out each and every child in these two districts, their name, their gender, their needs, so that also budgetary allocation can be much more effectively done, and this country will hopefully come up with a number which is correct. It's been very challenging, and I've got a lot of people here who've been on the field doing the work, so I want to ask them also to talk about it. And so the last thing I'll come on to is really the conference. The conference is exciting because there are people from about 20 countries coming, and we have a wonderful project which is in the Asia Pacific region with the poorer countries, and it is with people from Nepal, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Cambodia, Mongolia, Tajikistan, etc., about 16 countries, and we are wanting to really hear their voices. We want to see, after our teaching, which has been for about 3 months, where we run this course together with a UK agency called Women's Council, what did they go back to their countries and be absolutely amazed, some of you who are coming to the conference, how much they've done, confronted with systemic failure and confronted with oppression that is our lot, whether it's big or small. But if you're dealing with disability, you're constantly dealing with oppression. So this is the conference. We also got some excellent experts from the West countries. So it's really a way of the West countries listening to the voices of the South and knowing exactly what is culture-specific, context-specific for inclusive education. Because you can't really plant Western models here. We are not, obviously colonialism, all that kind of isms are over. So we have to concentrate on culture and context specific models. And that's the main idea of this dialogue, of the North listening to the voice of the South learning from the North, of course. And it's exciting because for the first time we've got nearly 20-25 people who are disabled activists and who will be participating very passionately, I hope, in the conference, and which will hopefully lead the ADAPT Rights Group to expand nationally and internationally in forming disabled people's organizations. And I will request all our friends from abroad to really help us in creating a critical mass of disabled people that we badly need in this country.